The NFL is coming to a close, and the NFL honors are tomorrow. As I'm posting this, we're probably going to see this the day of the honors, but I'm recording this the night before the honors. And today I'm going to be doing my playoff prediction. I'm so used to saying playoff predictions. I saw with my words sometimes, guys. I know, but I'm going to be doing my predictions. And this is going to just be mainly off of my opinion and what I think who should win what award. And I'll just probably work my way up because I think I want to end off. I'm looking at the list right now. I think I want to end off with the MVP because I think that's probably the closest. So, let's get started, boys. I mean, so happy to be here and doing this. So thanks as always for watching. Let's get into it. So yeah, we're gonna start this. Okay, so let's start this Johnson off. Okay, let's go with Coach of the Year. In my opinion, this is probably one of the easiest picks. It's Mike McDonald. That's how you spell his name. I was struggling to spell his name. Yeah, my opinion is Mike McDonald. The way he changed the Seahawks roster was crazy. They turned into like a mediocre defense all the way to one of the best defenses in the league, and they've hit with the draft picks. They hit with their draft picks. They hit with their just their schemes. This defense was playing for blood. They held the 49ers to 6 points in the playoffs, and this is from a defensive-minded coach called Mike McDonald. I know Clint Kubiak is gonna have a big say in that too, how good this team is. But this defense has been lights out. It has been lights out, and there's a reason why this team is doing so well. There's a reason, and as much as I would love for Mike Vrabel to win this, I think Mike McDonald has just done a better job. He's playing against harder competition. He's played against. Coached up just a more fundamentally sound team, has a better record, arguably less talent on the I wouldn't say less talent, but arguably a little more talent, but that's not really, you're not going to hold him against that because his GM drafted well. This team had a 2-year turnaround. This team was dead in the water with Geno Smith and that team. Pete Carroll immediately fired. Mike McDonald really turned around this team, and this shows how well he's coached. And him leaving Baltimore was got to be the best decision he's ever made. This is by far the best Seahawks team we've seen since the Legion of Boom. And honestly, I'm happy this team is doing so well because Mike McDonald deserves it all. He's such a good guy, and I think just the way he's coaching his team, it's just so inspiring. So I think taking Mike McDonald here is one of the easy choices. Protector of the Year. You could say a lot of things. One thing I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Creed Humphrey. He was really good this year, but I don't think he's gonna make it. Same with Sewell. I really like Penei Sewell too. It's just I don't think he did enough. Joe Thuney was my Protector of the Year. Joe Thuney has elevated this entire Bears offensive line. The Bears were clowns, literally clowns, laughed upon clowns. The entire 2010s, the Bears are never gonna win. The Bears are never gonna win. Now this team has been okay, wait, the Bears are sneaky good. They're gonna win the North next year, but I think they're gonna win the North next year. That's how good this team's gone. It started with the offensive line. Ben Johnson, obviously, great hire. This is a great fucking hire. But Joe Thuney and that Bears defense, all right, all those guys. Shout out to all these guys, man. They became the best offensive line and gave Caleb Williams just the right amount of protection the entire time. And Joe Thuney was a gigantic steal for that. The 4th round pick for the Chiefs. Just to get Joe Thuney, who really elevated this defense, that was a steal. I really like this trade when it first happened. This is a giga steal, and you guys showed this when with how well Caleb Williams played with this offensive line, and even the running game was so good too, consistently opening up holes for Kyle Malunga and DeAndre Swift, and they were constantly carving up people on the run defense. You saw that with the Packers game. You saw that even to an extent with the Rams too, and just season in season out. Joe Thuney played the best, and I know we're not going to count playoffs that much because these are all regular season awards. But let's give them flowers in the playoffs, and even in the regular season, they carved it up too. They really did well. This is usually the second seed. They played really well. I really love this. I really love what the Bears were building, and Joe Thuney really helped elevate that defense. Elevate that offensive line. Comeback Player of the Year. This is another one. I'm gonna give it to Christian McCaffrey. Very injury prone. He's been very injury prone his entire career. Even in Carolina, he was very injury prone. This year, he played very well, though. Let's look at some stats. Christian McCaffrey really had a great year this year. Other than the one playoff loss, he had 1,202 yards, 2nd carries, tied 9th in touchdowns with 10, average of 3.3. His game log, there was some really good games, right? This Giants game was very good. Atlanta was very good. Indianapolis, Chicago. Chicago has a pretty poor run defense, but when you see these teams with poor run defenses, he was going off. And with the amount of time he missed last year, I really think that he elevated this entire offense. Pass catching, especially how injured this team is, and especially how much injured this entire line, this wide receiver core, Brandon Ayuk having his problems. Christian McCaffrey was always there, and especially at the end too, when Kittle tore his Achilles, he was always there. And usually Christian McCaffrey's the type of guy that goes out, but he was always there, and he was always producing no matter who was next to him. And this is by far my comeback player of the year. You could obviously make a point of Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones again revitalized his career. I want to do a shout out to Daniel Jones. If he did not tear his ACL or Achilles, he would be comeback player of the year in my opinion. Like he elevated the team, and he's part of my Giants. He was really good this year, and other than the torn ACL or torn Achilles, man, they were looking really good. He went 7-2, bro, 7-2, and they won that overtime game in Atlanta. Shout out to Daniel Jones, but Christian McCaffrey's got my vote. Defensive player of the year is another easy one. Where's Myles Garrett? Oh, defensive rookie of the year. Let's go player of the year quickly. Look at Myles Garrett for defensive rookie, player of the year. Broke the sack record. This is also probably the easiest one you're gonna get. Broke the sack record. This is another very easy one. Literally no one can guard him. He's superhuman. Like he's actually superhuman. You've never seen anyone like that, Myles Garrett. Brian Burns had a great year. Nick Bonino had a great year. Michael Parsons had a great year before towards ACL. Who else is in contention? Will Anderson Jr. had a great year too. Myles Garrett was just a step above. There's between Myles. There's the gap between Myles Garrett and everybody else. It's like this big of a gap. It's between Myles Garrett and everybody else. And I think Myles Garrett should showcase how good he was breaking the sack record, and eventually he's just gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's gonna be first ballot Hall of Fame. It sucks that he's wasting his career in Cleveland, but I think with Todd Monken, hopefully they can get the offense on track, and that defense is already good enough. So maybe you guys start winning games in a fairly weak division. But Myles Garrett, kudos to you. Let's go here. Let's go with the offensive player of the year too. Let's keep it on track there. Let's go Jackson. How do you spell his name? Smith. Here we go. Jason is my number one guy. So I could obviously give it to Puka Nacua. Let's compare stats. Puka Nacua also had a really good year too. If you look at his stats, 1,715 yards, 129 receptions. These two metrics are very good. But Jackson Smith-Njigba though, he was very good this year too, and I think he led the league in receiving and fourth in receptions. He had less receptions, more yards, by 80 yards. That's just crazy to me. And he had it's the same amount of touchdowns and more average, right? Puka Nacua had more weapons around him. I could say that because Jackson Smith-Njigba didn't have Rashid Shaheed the entire time, and Cooper Kupp is old, but he's not like I don't know. He's not like he's not Devontae Adams level for me. But someone like Puka Nacua had an MVP on his roster. He had arguably an MVP. I don't know if I'll get into that later, but arguably an MVP. Someone like Jackson Smith-Njigba had Sam Darnold, who wasn't really known. He was known as a playoff choker. Sam Darnold's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Sam Darnold's a good quarterback. Is it Matthew Stafford level? Maybe not. We haven't really seen that yet. And his defense was as good, but I just think Jackson Smith-Njigba with just the impact was a lot more on tape versus just stats. I think that yes, Nacua caught everything that came in his radius, but Jackson Smith-Njigba was just so open. His route running was so crisp. I just think that based on just what I saw, my base feeling was just Jackson Smith-Njigba wins. And obviously love Puka Nacua. I think he has a very bright future. Jason has also a very bright future again. These two are 1A, 1B type receivers, right? These guys are gonna be so good later on. They're not even 25. Both of them are not even 25 yet, which is so crazy to me. So there's that. But I think Jackson Smith-Njigba has less catches on more yards, which is just a little more impressive because his average is a little higher. So it's just a little bit more like that. But in a more yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just think Jackson Smith-Njigba just on tape also looked just a little better than Puka Nacua. But I can see give it to either. But I really like Jackson Smith-Njigba here. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Big shout out to Jackson Dart. I won't give it to him, but he elevated this team. that team was terrible with Russell Wilson, and even Jameis Winston was fine. But with Russell Wilson, you can really sense the slowness and the terribleness. But with Dart, that team had new life. There's new life, and I think he can maybe be an MVP later on in his career. But as of right now, I don't think I can really give it to him. Also, gigantic shout out to Tyler Shuck. Again, very good. Came in later, so the stats aren't as good as people wanted to have for offensive rookie of the year. No one has won offensive rookie of the year with less than like 8 games played. So I don't think Tyler Shuck is gonna be the first one. He wasn't like tremendously like generational special. He was good. He was really good. But I don't think he was offensive rookie of the year good with the amount of games he's played. But we're gonna give it with Tedroy McMillan. He was very good this year. Obviously, this year's offensive rookie of the year class is a little more weak than last year's, because last year's it was Jane Daniels. Drake May didn't have that good of a year. Same with Caleb Williams, Jane Daniels, Malik Neighbors, BTJ, those guys, right? Those LSU boys and some others. But with Tedroy McMillan, he has less stats than Malik Neighbors, or less yards and catches than Malik Neighbors last year. But his impact was as good, and this class is weaker. So the offensive rookie of the year class is weaker. So maybe you'll keep him here, but I don't know. I just think he won offensive rookie over Dart and Chuck. Why I give it to the quarterback? Because I know quarterback's gonna get quarterback bias, but I think in terms of everything, I think McMillan have as much as Chuck and Dart by giving Bryce Young a number 1 option, and he was truly the number 1 guy there, and you could have sensed it. He was a threat down the field, really good at route running, very good with catches, which was all concerned. He's concerned about this route running. People called him a reach when the Panthers took him number 8, I think, number 8 or number 7. Like it was near the top 10, or even inside the top 10, and people were saying it's a reach, it's a dumb move. I was on the fence. I didn't think it was a dumb move, but I didn't love it. He proved me wrong, and I think McMillan deserves this award 100%. Defensive rookie of the year. Big shout out to Carson Schlesinger. Again, a great guy. He really, for how bad that Browns team was offensively, that defense wasn't like nearly as bad. That team was really good on the defensive side of the ball. Schlesinger was crazy good at tackling, space, filling up the gaps. Even in coverage, he was really solid. And I think taking him for defensive player of the year isn't bad. But there's a guy in Seattle. Nick Emmanwori is my pick for defensive rookie of the year. He is a dog. I remember seeing him in South Carolina. I knew this guy was going to be a top safety one day. I'm a big South Carolina fan. If you guys don't know, I'm a big South Carolina fan. Nick Emmanwori, the way he's playing the box and the slot and everything he's just doing, it's just so fluid, and it makes you feel like he's a vet, right? He kind of reminds me of Cam Chancellor, where he just keeps on hitting, and he's been so vital for this Seahawks team. He has been injured sometimes, but when he's on the field, he has produced, and you can sense when he's on the field. There's that presence in the middle of the field where if you're in open space, Nick Emmanwori is flying to the ball and he's gonna attack him. Or if you're in space, he's gonna grab the ball and the ball's floating up. He's gonna get out of the air and he's gonna pick it. Ash is the type of guy you need on your defensive, and this is the defense of rookie of the year, and he has been the most impactful in my opinion. And even on this playoff run, I know Schlesinger didn't have the chance to make a playoff run, but even on this playoff run too, I know it's a regular season one as well, but in this playoff run too, he was very productive, and I think that taking him here is more than I think Schlesinger, and I think Nick Emmanwori with maybe a little bit of bias is my pick for defensive rookie of the year. MVP, it's either gonna be Stafford, obviously, or Drake May. See, again, this is a regular season award, right? So let's look at comparison to two. So against Stafford, if you look at the stats, right? Matthew Stafford's first in passing yards, first in touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Drake May has less touchdowns, less yards, same amount of interceptions, but he's first in QBR. Stafford's fourth, right? If you look at game logs, right? I think the stats just aren't there for Matthew Stafford, or for Drake May, sorry. But I don't know. I think Matthew Stafford has a little more options in terms of weapons around him versus Drake May, who only had Diggs and some others. I would rather take Nakua over Diggs. I'd rather take Devontae Adams over Diggs. Or maybe not over Diggs, but Devontae Adams definitely over the wide receiver 2. I think is Booty. I'd rather take Whittington over the wide receiver 3, and I'd rather take the tight end core over maybe the Patriots. Maybe over the Patriots. Offensive line is a little bit better, even though Will Campbell hasn't been playing that well. I'm not a huge fan of the Rams' offensive tackles either. They've been fine, but they haven't been astounding. And the running back core is around the same. There's two big guys. I just think that Drake May has done more with less. And in my opinion, I think as much as I hate the Patriots, I think Drake May is the MVP. The talent Drake May had was a little better than a little worse than what Matthew Stafford had. He had a higher pass rate, right? Or a higher pressure rate. Sorry, higher pressure rate. He was 6th highest pressure rate. Versus Matthew Stafford, who had one of the lowest pressure rates. They had he had like I said, more weapons. He had Nakua. Stafford had more weapons like Nakua, Adams, and his other wide receivers in there, Tutu Atwell, maybe Whittington, all those guys. And the run game was a little more consistent. Jalen Henderson missed some time. And I think that just Drake May did more with less. And you could say maybe Stafford played a harder schedule, but still I think the rosters kind of balance it out. And I think Drake May just still played a little better than Matthew Stafford down the stretch. And this is a regular season award, obviously. So Drake May played really well under pressure too. He was like first in some stats under pressure. He was very accurate down the stretch. He was very clutch in some big game moments in the regular season. It's just that I think Stafford obviously did a lot with his age. What he did with his age is very, very well done. You don't really see anybody producing this much with that old move. Besides some of the GOATs like Brady, Manning. You could probably see Mahomes doing this shit someday. Probably. Maybe Allen and Lamar. But other than Stafford, like those guys, he's among those greats. I think just Drake May edged out just a slightly bit. And this is honestly the closest award I've seen. So it is what it is, but I think that Drake May edges it out over Matthew Stafford. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you all always for watching. I will see you guys on Friday tomorrow for I think I'm going to do a review of a mock draft. I'm going to push back that one day. So yeah, a review of a mock draft, and I'm going to react to more head coaching hires. So yeah, that's basically about it. Let me know if you guys have any issues or any comments or any thoughts. And as always, thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.